Every second of every day, extreme saltwater and high salinity in the air are actively tearing at the steel of India's coastal infrastructure. The ocean is effectively trying to dissolve these massive structures back into the earth. To stop that rapid corrosion, engineers deploy highly specialized chemical coatings. This engineered layer acts as an invisible shield, taking the brunt of the ocean's damage, so the structural steel of marvels like the Pambin Bridge remains intact. You see the exact same chemical defense system deployed on the Bougainville Bridge, allowing its massive pillars to survive extreme river flows, high winds, and punishing weather variations year after year. You would reasonably expect this level of extreme material engineering to come from a specialized defense contractor or a Silicon Valley tech lab. It actually comes from Berger Paints. The company most people hire to brighten up their living room walls is quietly responsible for the chemical armor keeping the nation's toughest engineering projects from collapsing into the sea. Their deep historical roots are surprising. The operation started back in 1923 as Hadfield's India, and the family's founding business lineage stretches all the way back to 1898. This chart tracks their current market footprint, and it reveals massive scale. Today, they are the second largest paint manufacturer in India, the fourth largest in all of Asia, and the seventh largest decorative paint company on the planet. When we look at this pie chart of listed domestic companies, Berger secures 20.3% of the entire market. A business born decades before Indian independence has figured out how to outmaneuver modern, heavily funded conglomerates to maintain a tight grip on the global supply chain. The modern architecture of this operation took shape in 1983. Reborn under the leadership of the Dhingra family, the company pivoted from a standard regional supplier into a highly diversified industrial giant. They structured the business around four main pillars. The largest is decorative paints. High-margin consumer products like this pulled in a massive 8,137 crore in revenue last year alone. The second pillar handles the heavy lifting, industrial coatings. They formulate highly customized protective layers for automotive plants and massive manufacturing facilities. Next is waterproofing and construction chemicals. This is their rapid growth engine, producing the industrial sealants and structural repair compounds that quickly push them into the top 3 players nationwide for this sector. Finally, they launched Express Painting Services. This was a direct tech pivot, creating a digital platform that organizes thousands of independent professionals, bringing digital tracking and speed to a historically fragmented labor market. Their competitive advantage lies in tying these 4 areas together. They are involved in every single phase of a building's life cycle, from pouring the waterproof concrete foundation all the way up to rolling the final coat of paint on the ceiling. Surviving at this scale requires fighting off constant attacks from massive rivals. They operate surrounded by legacy heavyweights like Asian Paints and Akzo Nobel, while simultaneously fending off deep-pocketed new entrants like Birla Opus. Because paint relies heavily on chemical inputs like crude oil derivatives and titanium dioxide, their profit margins are highly exposed to the chaos of global oil price spikes and domestic housing slowdowns. To hedge that volatility, they strategically point their production lines directly at long-term government infrastructure projects. They supply the raw chemical volume needed for massive state initiatives like the PM Awas Yojana housing push and the Smart Cities mission. By supplying the materials required for state-backed development, they embed themselves deep inside the national supply chain, insulating their revenue from normal consumer market fluctuations. Fulfilling those massive state and consumer contracts requires serious physical infrastructure. This map plots out their network of 15 large-scale manufacturing plants, positioned strategically to supply the entire country. And that industrial footprint extends well beyond domestic borders, with active production operations spanning 4 different continents. After a century of operation, the company treats paint as a structural component rather than a cosmetic choice. They build the functional materials that allow modern architecture to endure. So the next time you walk into a brightly lit office or drive across a massive steel bridge spanning the ocean, look closely at the surface.